Morning. I just left a comment about this. You see, that suit is really great for cold weather. And the only thing is, I forgot my rubber gloves. I always carry them for the winter. And I had these, and I thought I had them, but you see, that's the problem. When everything is melting, right? So on yesterday, it was when I was loading, it was about at first -8 Celsius, which is what, 273 minus 270 minus 5, 265 Kelvin. Felt pretty cold, but then it quickly became warmer, and so, you know, everything on the truck it's all dirt, and so basically these became useless because actually the hands felt actually colder. And so yesterday, yeah, I moved just 1 hour south of Chicoutimi, Quebec, to La Tep, a nice rest area. Slept there, and then I was debating what to do about the oh, look, it seems like it's drizzling a little bit, and that's my fuel economy going over this highway 175, 50 liters per 100 kilometers, which I believe is less than 4 miles a gallon. But it's okay. That's why they pay us the big bucks. Yeah, and so I didn't want to deal with inspection stations, especially in Quebec. They will always find something, you know, a load like this. And so I studied some statistics on Trucker Path. If you know what I'm talking, truckers will know what I'm talking about, the statistics. And I found that the optimum window of opportunity is 7 o'clock in the morning. And so I flew by at 100 kilometers an hour at 7:15. Green light, the scale is closed. Good. And so from that letap, from that rest area, it's just 60 miles, like 100 kilometers to that scale. And so I had to time everything perfectly, because on the one hand, you don't want to drive when it's dark, and on the other hand, you don't want to be like, even Quebec City, there's a curfew after 7, you know. So anyway, it was tricky, but I pulled it off like a champ. And so I researched truck stops yesterday, and couldn't find anything decent near the border. So like, I'm going towards Maine, right? Jackman, Maine. That's the border crossing I'm going to be using. And from here, it's only another 100 kilometers, 60 miles. And of course, you know that you're in Canada when all trailers are at least 3 axles. And so I found this Ultramar, so that's the gas station, and there's diesel pumps on the other side. And inside that building, they have a restaurant, but it's more like a deli, kind of like a deli, but they can make you any kind of food. And also I looked on you know, satellite view of this truck stop, and there's a Tim Hortons over there. And I saw that people were parking right here between the Tim Hortons and Ultramar. There's always trucks parked here. And so that was my plan. So I came in from over there from the bridge and just went into the driveway, just drove around, and everything was busy here. So I parked in this spot next to me because there were trucks all over the place, and I thought that's not good because this is the exit, you know. And then all of a sudden, like, trucks here, I didn't even realize that trucks here, they, you know, most people just park in the back there, but I'm too long. There's lots of parking, but it's not you know, dual slots. It's just a single slot, and you have to back towards the field. So I cannot make it. My truck will be blocking. People won't be able to drive through the truck stop. I would have to disconnect the truck. I don't want to do that. But this one, I saw it on the you know, sky view, satellite view on Tracker Path, and I knew that this would work, except that I parked in the middle of the road. And then I went inside, and yeah, I know about this. Everybody's leaving comments about translation apps, and I used like this. You can just go and do Google Translate, and let me see, and this guy just parked in Bernard Transport. I don't know, Bernard Transport, but actually in French they always put the word transport in the beginning, like Transport Bernard. We do the same in Russian, by the way. Like, let's say if it's transportation company and it's named my name, like, you know, in English it'll be SERGEI DRATCHEV Transport, right? But in Russian it'll be pretty much similar to French, because it'll be Транспортная компания Сергея Драчева. So Транспортная компания, transport company, you see, it goes in the front, and SERGEI DRATCHEV goes in the back. So I understand where they're coming from in here. See, now we have unobstructed view of the Tim Hortons, and inside you can go in, at least that's good, and order, but you have to wear a mask, of course. But there's no tables, there's no sitting, so you can either go in or order and get out, or go through the drive-through if you're rich enough to afford a car. An actual cars here, because, you know, I see, like, it's not like US somewhere where half of the cars, you know, are missing fenders and have rusty wheels. Over here everything is expensive. Like, even in front of me, parked in the snow, check this out, that's a BMW 3 Series. You know, over there red car is Volkswagen, next to it is Hyundai. Okay, that guy didn't get, you know, too lucky in life. But over here I think that's a fancy SUV also. So anyway, I went inside first. Yeah, I went inside. Let me finish the story with the restaurant. So I go there, and I knew what I wanted, so I opened this Google Translate, even though I knew that they speak English, because, you know, at a truck stop most of the time, you know, they deal with people from Ontario, from the rest of Canada. But I put this like this. Wait, 1L omelette with vegetables, no cheese. And check this out, beautiful, omelette aux légumes sans fromage. Perfect. And so I go there and I'm still just trying to, you know, play it safe, so I show her this. But then I notice this.
Omelette aux légumes sans fromage. Omelette aux légumes sans fromage.
All right, and then I wait about 10 minutes, and she gives me pack. Oh, and I said 4 eggs. 4. And then at the end, I say, what about this?
C'est les poivres.
Cheese. C'est les poivres. I say, c'est les poivres. And so we were laughing together, you know. She speaks English, I use this, and so it's actually fun, you know. No, actually, people are very nice here. Very nice, and one cool thing I like about Quebec is food. Food is delicious, you know. Like I see, even some tiny baby truck stop, they can make you a custom omelette, you know. And I said, yeah, just give me vegetables. And I forgot the French word, so it's legume, kind of like legumes, right? Let's see again. All trailers, 3-axle. So this guy has a fancy GMC pickup truck. And then behind me I see a bunch of Kenworth W9. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this video, because it's a pretty cool cool location. And so yeah, you can use it. Oh, and the guy where I was sitting there, this Letop, that guy, I think that's the app. This is just, you know, web-based, right? Google Translate. But the guy over there, I was asking him when I stopped yesterday, I was asking him, what time do you open in the morning? And he speaks English, you know, use that one, but he could not understand. Check this out. The guy is urinating next to my tire. Like there's a perfectly nice there's a perfectly nice washroom inside Tim Hortons and inside the truck stop. Or maybe he's just looking at something, I don't know. But I already had one guy. I had one guy come over and start asking me questions. Oh, big, what is this? And of course, you know, my truck is a bit unusual, right? With a 2+2, with a big booster. So people here like this big stuff, you know. No, I don't think he was actually urinating, because that was just crazy. But he was standing so close to the tire. I wondered what he was doing. I don't know. No, yeah, I don't think he was doing the bad thing, because he's walking to the truck stop. And yeah, so I had my omelette. It was about $7, and I tried to leave him a tip. And I was using my American Express, and turns out you cannot add a tip when you're paying with American Express. And I said, okay, I'll come back, I'll buy something, I'll leave him a tip later. And she said, okay. VT, so day cab with a 4-axle flatbed. Check this out. So try them in the back and the lift axle. That's very popular also, you know, because that guy, see, that's like 7 axles, you know, so he can do 80,000-90,000 pounds on that flatbed. I was thinking about that, by the way, because sometimes, you know, there's a couple of guys in the States, right, that do this with this heavy trailers, but it's very easy to find them here. You don't have to do like homemade, you don't have to build a trailer. You can buy a trailer like this, because, you know, again, Canada, it's very popular, because the more axles you have, the more weight you can carry. Like that's how it's kind of like Michigan, you know, but our rules here are totally different from US. T800 with a Tridem, some kind of a agricultural trailer. See, what is that, Honda Accord? Yep. And so yeah, I was thinking about these flatbeds, but they cost as much as the RGN. I remember talking to one guy that sells them like a 5-axle flatbed, you know, try them, and 2 lift axles. You know, that would be a perfect trailer for something like my truck. Imagine you have 5-axle trailer and then 4-axle truck. You can move, you know, a lot of weight. Like something like that actually would be perfect for, let's say, a track, you know, like how I did the crawler track, you know, 9 axles, like the one I moved from Nova Scotia to Saskatchewan. The only problem is that setup would not work probably in as soon as you cross into Manitoba, because they don't recognize lift axles. Otherwise, you know, these heavy flatbeds are great for stuff which is not too tall, like 8 feet, 9 feet, right? And that truck I think was like 6 feet tall. But for the regular stuff, so I was thinking about this because the rates can be great for something specialized like machinery, but then quite often you have to tarp, which I hate, and not just hate, but it's dangerous, especially in this kind of weather. You know, you can fall down, break your leg, you know, then, you know, my vice president is in the hospital, my driver is in the hospital. It's not good for a small company like myself. But yeah, and the rest of the so I was thinking about these multi-axle flatbeds, but then I noticed that, again, I'm in Canada, so we have much fewer loads than guys in the States, and so I decided that RGN was better than a flat. But I don't know, maybe I'll, because, you know, I'm always trying to get to the top, you know, make more money, so maybe there'll be an opportunity in the future. Or also you know, another weird trailer that people use in heavy haul is an extendable step deck. You know, it doesn't look like a regular step deck. It has actually gooseneck in the front, which I don't think it separates, but it's like massive. You know, the beams on that thing are massive. It looks like an RGN in the front, but then in the back it has the deck goes over the wheels, right? Kind of like the step deck, and it's extendable. And so again, if you have something like that 40-foot track, you know, so that would be useful. But it's probably, these flats and steps, they're more useful in Western Canada or Western US, where height is not such a big concern. So you can load, you know, let's say that crane superstructure, that 120,000 that broke my booster, that one would be perfect on a extendable step deck if you are in an area where height is like, you know, 15-16 feet is okay. But over there where I picked it up from Illinois to Ontario, it would not work. It was too tall. I think it was like, well, actually it was, I think it was 8 or 9. And the guy who was loading me, he actually said that that crane superstructure came on a flat trailer. And I tried to get it out of him, like, what kind of flat trailer? Step deck or flatbed? Did it have another deck in the front? And the guy could not explain to me. All he could say is that it was a lawn trailer with a flat surface. So it definitely was, it was probably a extendable step deck. And one more problem with those, with the step deck, which I learned when I had one, is that if you cannot load something heavy just on the deck, you know, because your truck is too far away, right? Because you have the 10 or usually 11 feet upper deck. And so if you load something heavy like pipe, you know, unless you have 3 axles in the back, or for this crane superstructure, you'll probably need like 10 axles. It's easy to overload the step deck, you know, whereas a flatbed is more versatile, I would say, because you can move the load forward, backwards, right? And that's why these trailers are popular, you know. All right, we're gonna continue later on where maybe something more interesting is happening. Oh, that's what it is. So this guy, he drives a dump truck. By the way, kind of like my truck, T880, but a day cab. And probably he's dreaming about heavy haul. Or maybe he wants to buy a machine like this to move the snow in the neighborhood. I don't know. But this thing is super expensive. A very expensive machine. Because this one is brand new. Another gentleman is interested in purchasing my new book, Heavy Haul Secrets. So far I sold two copies, and he's asking me how to get it. So you gotta do, if you want to buy it, just type in your browser www.paypal.me/SERGEI DRATCHEV, and it'll open the window. You'll see my face in there, and you just type in US $35, and you send it to me, and as soon as I get the confirmation from PayPal and I know your email address, I will set up access to the online book, because it's online, and I just need to add your email address to those that can access it, right? And then also I'm gonna attach a couple of additional files. By the way, it took me a long time, and something very I think helpful that I created. I spent I don't remember how many hours online, but I created a table which shows you most states, yeah, nothing in Canada, but most states, and what you get on three-axle, last three axles of the truck. If you have, like, you know, four-axle truck like mine, basically try them, and what you get on quad trailer, four-axle trailer, and what's the difference between quad and 3+1 and 2+2. It's a very handy table, you know, like you go and let's say you see Texas, 72,000 pounds on a quad, and let's say then you know that if you know the weight of your load, right, you know that that's probably not enough, for example. Then you look at 3+1 or 2+2 if you have a booster like me. So it's a very handy table, and so I'm including that one. It's just one page, but nice to have, you know. So, and then another one is just weights for quad, because I created that one earlier. So basically a couple of pages. And also I want to apologize, when I saved this presentation, or this audio book actually as a movie, and each slide has an audio recording, and also it has a couple of like 1 or 2 links to videos on my channel on YouTube, which further discuss the subject or present some kind of an example of what I'm talking about. And one thing I noticed is that when I open the final movie, like the project that's now online, that you cannot click the link, you know. You cannot, like the video links for some reason are not clickable, because the audio file is right there, so it takes kind of like precedence. So it starts playing and you hear me speaking, but you cannot click the links. And so I had to create a second file, which is just, I don't know, 2 megabytes only. And that one, if you open that one when you are online, you don't have the audio. I removed the audio file, but what you do have, you have all the slides and you have the video links. And so I apologize for this, but basically in order to play the video from my presentation or from my audiobook, you have to use this file, this 2 megabyte file. I think it's cool. If you just, let's say you listen to, let's say, I don't know, chapter 3 in the online from the audiobook, and then you open that file and you open chapter 3, and you can click on the links, and if you desire so, you can watch the video, you know, kind of like to give you more information. I think it should work, you know. So like I said, so far I sold 2 copies, and it's not that easy, right, creating a book. So it took time, so that's what the price reflects. But also this is a specialized book. It's not for, you know, people that have no intention of going into heavy haul. This is for people that want to do heavy haul and that are thinking about buying an RGN trailer, or maybe already doing heavy haul and they just want to, you know, improve their knowledge. Nice looking Western Star. And I see these trucks are pretty popular, you know. That's another T880, and it's a day cab. BAM Ripe. That looks like English words. bamripe.com, yeah, but over there everything is in French. Soufflé, plancher, mobile. And this guy has 4axle trailer. I have no idea what that is. Some kind of food or something to do with lumber. I don't know. And what I'm gonna do tomorrow, yeah, I'm gonna leave Saturday, right? Because today and tomorrow I cannot enter Maine, but I can drive on the weekend. Maine, from what I read, and by the way, the permit for Maine is 15 bucks. 15 bucks US. Love it. So it's even better than Michigan. I thought Michigan was the cheapest state, 50 bucks. So this one is 15. So I can drive on the weekend and just park somewhere there near my cat dealer where I'm going, but they are closed until Monday. And from the border it's 132 miles, I think, or 135. And so that's the plan. But tomorrow, Friday, so like we don't have holidays here, right? Our Thanksgiving is in October, so everybody's working. Canada, Thursday, Friday, we all work, so everything is open, you know. And so tomorrow I'm gonna drop the trailer because I'm like 50% of fuel, and I saw on that side there's a Shell and it's only 96 cents per liter. Now this couple of buddies parked next to me, and this was the 5-axle dump truck. So there was a T800, now here we have a Pete, and we were talking to this guy parked next to me. I'm not sure he's living now or not, but he has a cool looking truck with a Jeep, tandem Jeep. What? Low voltage disconnect. I hate when this happens, you know, because I've been running the heater, so now my heater is gonna die, and it's not that warm. It's actually pretty chilly. So anyway, this guy has a popular configuration for heavy truck in Ontario, and now I see Quebec is the same thing. Why? Because they don't like boosters over here, right? And the same in Ontario, because you get lots of weight on the quad. And so this guy has Remember I had that crane superstructure, 120,000 pounds, that broke the booster, and then I had to take out the spreader bar and just have a Jeep, tandem Jeep in the front, and a quad trailer. And some people were saying, that's a weird looking rig, but that's what we use in Ontario and Quebec. And so this guy has a tandem Jeep, and he has a drop side rail quad trailer. I don't see any markings. The trailer is not, I mean, the Jeep is not very long, so it's much shorter than mine. Because yeah, the spacing between the first axle and the Jeep, you see, that's what's happening. This thing wants me to disconnect. What do you want me to disconnect? I already disconnected everything. The only thing that's connected is this. That's the only thing that's drawing power right now, because it's hooked up to the ECM port. Everything else is disconnected. I disconnected this. Yeah, I was just waiting for this guy to leave so I can show you guys. So now it stopped drizzling, so the windows are clear. And so I asked him, I said, how much can you haul? Yeah, see? No light, that's it. My super smart truck just shut down all power. So I would have to start the engine when it gets cold to boost the battery. And so I asked him how much he can haul. He says 79. And of course that's kgs. It's very close. He was probably talking about annual permit. So 79,000 kgs times 2.2 is 173. So 174,000 pounds minus, let's say, I'm not sure how heavy his trailer is, but it's probably pretty heavy. So minus 30 minus, let's say, 6 for the Jeep, and let's say 23 for the truck. Yeah, so if his truck is light enough, in theory he can do like 114,000 pounds, but it's very difficult to properly position the load, you know, because everything is, the truck is so far away from the load, so you have to load very close to the truck. Because I talked to one guy in Ontario and he said the same thing. They tried this because in Ontario it's 78,000 kgs under annual permit, so just 1 metric ton less. And so I know, like, my rig weighs minus 60,000 pounds. That's without the Jeep. That's the truck and 4-axle trailer. Minus 8,000 for the Jeep, see, and minus probably 1 because I need a longer neck. So yeah, I can do 100,000 pounds, but that's under annual permit. So I don't need any permits if my load is 100,000 pounds. You know, that's why I can basically hook up the Jeep and I can go. You know, but if it's over 100,000, they call it single trip permit. You can get much more weight, but then of course you have to pay extra. You have to wait 3-5 business days, and of course, you know, nobody has time, everybody's in a rush. And so that's why people here and in Ontario often use tandem Jeep and a quad trailer. All right, and he's leaving. So that's 800 tandem Jeep, drop side rail. The deck looks probably 26, and actually he has tried them. Ah, that's what it is. It's a Trident trailer and he's using a flip axle in the back. Cool looking truck. Perfect. I wanted to show you guys this. So that's a good configuration for heavy load. Well, this is the kind of like a center of civilization over here. I drove the trailer and I drove over here and I killed like 3 birds with 1 stone. First off, I got full left side driver's side tank of fuel, and these guys have such a small Shell station, but there's only 1 pump that sells diesel, but it has 2 types of diesel. You know, one some kind of premium diesel, it was like $2 Canadian per liter, but the regular diesel is 95.6. What? 95 cents, basically 96 cents, which is 7 cents cheaper than what I paid last time in Ontario. And Ontario is usually cheaper. Quebec is usually more expensive. And why is this such a great news? Is because for me, because Quebec has higher tax, like the fuel tax inside the price is higher. So the more Quebec fuel I buy, the better is it for my IFTA, you know, International Fuel Treaty Agreement, because it's kind of like expensive fuel. So they will get more tax out of what I paid than if I bought this in Ontario, you know. And so when you pay tax, what counts is your net price, right? Like the actual price at the pump is not important. What's important is what's the actual net price. And so in this case, the net price is much cheaper because the retail price is lower than in Ontario, and then the tax is higher, right? So let's say, I forget, it's over here it's like 25 cents per liter or something, something crazy like that, or 25 cents per gallon, I forgot, but I know it's high, so taxes are high. And then next door, but pretty much the same building as McDonald's, I went in there and I used my, yeah, thank you for the suggestion. Somebody said, hey, if you have an iPhone, you can actually use it to translate. Siri, translate. And it says, translate into which language? So I choose French. I would like 10 beef patties. I guess it's probably too noisy here. Hello? Siri, are you there? 10 beef patties. And it says, I didn't get that. Could you try again? Do you speak French? And she says, I speak several forms of French. You can change the language in or use Siri settings. I would like to buy 10 beef patties, please. Does not work. Check this out. It says, I would like to buy 10 beef patties, please. And she says, okay, check it out. Oh, it's like, oh. So I asked her for 10 beef patties, and what she got, she's giving me the stores where I can buy beef patties. Okay, hold on. It worked before, I don't know. Just when I want to show you guys. Siri, translate. "10 beef patties." Oh, finally it works. You see this?
10 galettes de bœuf. 10 galettes de bœuf.
And that's what I did. So I go inside the McDonald's and she said, like like bonjour, and I put this close to the window because of course it's plastic, and I click the play button,
10 galettes de bœuf.
and I know she understands it because I think that's pretty plain French, but she confused about what I want to buy, just the same way as when I do this crazy thing in Ontario, right? She's like, and then I say, yeah, just 10 beef patties. So then we switch to English because she's a young girl. She speaks, you know, nice English. Yeah, but she's still confused, and she says, just galette, just patties? I said, yeah. And she's like, no bread, no cheese? I said, no. And she's kind of like smiling. I can see behind the mask, and she says, is that all for you? I said, yeah. And she's like, oh, cool. I said, new diet, carnivore diet, you know, carnivore. I don't know if she got that, but she looked a bit scared. But I said, just give me 10, just give me 10, whatever the word was, 10 beef patties and nobody will get hurt. And all right, then she gave me a little bag. I looked inside. She says, perfect. I said, yeah, perfect. So now I feel pretty full. And bird number 3 was there's a grocery store there. Like, very nice, and then lots of parking, you know. Okay, now I just have to drive. Oh, I see, diesel 95.9, gas 95.8, so which is perfect. And the truck stop is right there over that hill. It's about half a mile, 800 meters away. So I'm just gonna drive back and shut down. Hopefully my truck's battery will recharge a little bit, because yeah, it was getting low, and then I can go back to watching some YouTube or some Netflix or stuff like that.